For the first time since Hayden Jones of Texas A&M in 2012, a non-University of Texas men's diver is leading after the men's 1 meter preliminaries, and that's the TCU freshman David Ekdahl. The Sweden native had an incredible prelims. His score of a 372.20 is actually a personal record and a new school record. When I talked to his head coach, Anthony Crowder, earlier, he mentioned David trains for competitions. He dives on all the springboards. Normally a diver will pick a springboard to train on and get comfortable with them. But David, he's comfortable being uncomfortable. Needs 44.16 to break his own school record. Really nice dive to finish the competition with. Ekdahl just needing 31.10 points to win, and he gets it done. A 60.45. He will become the first diver to win a Big 12 championship from TCU.
Last night we saw maybe an upset in the men's 1 meter springboard. Can we see the same thing tonight for the women?
We could. We'll see a nice mix of women competing from 4 of the different schools. Got to start with the leader, Haley Hernandez, the freshman from the University of Texas. Competed in the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games where she got 9th on the 3 meter springboard. Matt Scoggin, her coach, telling me she has not had any post-Olympic drop-off. If anything, she helps motivate and push the women seniors on her team. As for her improvements in her diving, her hurdle has helped her front twister, which was actually her highest scoring dive in the prelims. As for someone to challenge Hernandez, that's Jia Chen, the standout from Kansas. She actually got 2nd on the 1 meter springboard at Big 12s in 2020, 2 years ago. She didn't compete last season due to COVID-19, and her head coach, Alan Fang, telling me Jia Chen's fun personality helps motivate and pick up her teammates. Skilkin, the junior, has such a gorgeous pike when she folds into the air. She almost kisses her knees. She gets so tight. And that's one of the elements that the judges are certainly looking for when they're judging the dives. It all came down to these dives. O'Neal with such poise on that reverse twister. Really finished strong. Jia Chen does a really nice reverse twister to finish off the meet. All 3 women doing the same exact dive. The judges can contrast and compare them. Hernandez, perfect hurdle, squares out above the springboard and just disappears in the water. Her teammates going crazy because she also earned a career best score of 360.80, as well as Jia Chen earning a career best with her score of 336.55, and Connie Dayton's 302.60 was also a personal best for her as well. So really solid diving on the 1 meter tonight. How does a race like that set the tone for the rest of the season with NCAA's looming?
Yeah, well, it definitely gives me a lot of confidence.
I gotta ask you, what is it like battling back and forth with your brother?
It's awesome. I mean, it's not much different when we get to the meet because we've done it every day for our entire lives.
We'll have a double dose of 3 meters, starting with the women, where Haley Hernandez, the freshman from Texas, is seated first. She already secured that first Big 12 title on the 1 meter last night, so a quick turnaround for her. Her teammate Bridget O'Neal is seated beneath her. She's the defending champion in this event, but when you look at the top 4 qualifiers, in third you've got Morgan Menninger. She had a career best prelim score, and Paula Pineda in 4th. Any of these women could come and win this competition depending on who dives the best tonight. Back-to-back rips on the same dive for those Texas Longhorn teammates. O'Neal first, then Hernandez. An incredible dive for Haley. She's patient on the board, gets into the tight tuck, pikes out. Look at that entry. That is just picture perfect. This is such a good dive for Chen. She makes it look so easy. She barely has to even grab her pike. She's so strong. She'll finish on a fantastic note. A 380.10, which puts her up into the lead. You see her power from her hurdle. Squares it out above the springboard. Incredible. Her diving is so fundamentally correct, and her technique, her toe point, stretches for the lineup. Haley Hernandez, the freshman from Texas, earning back-to-back Big 12 championship titles. Haley, incredible. How did you get it done?
You know, today, 3 meter is my favorite event, and I know there were some really great competitors, and, I just got fueled by that. People hitting dive after dive just really fuels me to really dial in and do the best I can.
And Coach Crowder told me that he's taking it one dive at a time. Gets to the end of the springboard, arms come all the way through, executes both the pike and the twist, lines it up beautifully. Straight 8s across the board. Nails it. Harness is absolutely on his game tonight.
82-25 for Harness.
Perfect takeoff, gets right into the tight twist, gymnastic-like movements in the air. Ends the competition on certainly a high note, points at his teammates, but he will not pass Andrew Harness, who gets a career best 4:53.85 and continues the streak of divers winning for Texas on the 3 meter. It is the 10th straight year a Longhorn has been on top of the podium on the 3 meter. Harness keeps it going. Andrew Harness, the junior from Texas, is set up well entering tonight. He got second in this event last year, and I want to talk about his 3rd round dive in the prelims. His reverse 2.5. He actually received a 10 on this dive that you're about to see. His coach, Matt Scoggin, telling me his rip is better than ever. His back and his reverse category off platform are his money dives. I wasn't lying. He just continues to drill these two groups. In diving, in these type of competitions, it's all about who can consistently do all their dives well, but the back and reverse categories tend to give people some difficulty. So if you can hit those, you'll be in contention. Excellent control at the top of that handstand. Just fabulous. Pushes up, holds it nicely at the top, engages his core. Then pushes off the platform, gets into the pike, squares out. Harness like a dart going in the water. What a great finish for Andrew Harness after getting second on the Big 12 platform last year. He wins it this year, his first title on the men's platform. Done with such grace and composure. As for the women, Jordan Skilkin of Texas leading after prelims with a career best score. Her teammate Janie Boyle is right behind her. Boyle got second in this event last year. Then there's the defending champion, Paula Pineda, who is 3rd in prelims. Matt Scoggin told me at the end of a platform practice the other day, she said, "I think that was my best day ever." She's taking advantage of what's been given to her and doing much more. Skilkin, no stranger to Big 12 titles herself. She won the platform event 2 years ago in 2020. Starts out with an electric first dive. Finds that balance of getting a good distance from the platform, squares out around the 5 meter. Big jump, big rip on the entry. Her teammates going crazy. They know how big of a dive that is for her. As she was second entering that round, she'll bump up to that first place spot temporarily. She'll set up her arm stand. She is incredible, so focused, dive after dive. She knows how to do these dives so well. That dive will put her in first place as we enter the fourth round of diving. Sets up the arm stand. Gorgeous hold at the top, showing control. A nice push off the platform, and her entries are stunning. Looks like Boyle hit the platform and ended up going short. Boyle, who is on the 10-meter after hitting the platform, she is finishing her competition, finishing what she started. Talk about a competitor, a fighter. You see that emotion that she has on the 10-meter and the encouragement from not only the Texas Longhorns, but the entire pool.
It doesn't matter what team you're on. I hope you can hear it at home because it's getting loud in here from all different color caps, shirts, as Janie Boyle does her fifth round dive.
Talk about a fighter. What a comeback, are you kidding me? The dive before she hits the platform.
86-40 for Janie Boyle, what a comeback.
And she comes back and drills this dive. She gets a 10 on this dive, and rightfully so, she deserves it. Hugs from her teammates, everyone standing and cheering. A lot of emotion there. It's really hard to come back, not only physically, but mentally, to get back up there on the 10-meter and do that. And here is Jordan Skilken, the leader this entire competition. This was her highest scoring dive that put her in first in the prelims. She received 8.5s and 9s on this dive. Flawless. Jordan Skilken lives up to the pressure and earns her second Big 12 title on the platform, receiving 3 10s on this dive.
And how about Texas going back-to-back with Janie Boyle and Jordan Skilken there in the last 2 dives of the women's platform final. Both getting some 10s in there, Natalie.
And they certainly deserve them. What a competitor. Jordan Skilken kept her composure this entire finals. Gorgeous takeoff, tight pike, squares it out. That entry is picture perfect. Jordan, congratulations on your second Big 12 title. You won here 2 years ago. You got your career best today. What is it about this pool that works so well with your diving?
Oh man, I don't know. I think just the environment. You know, away meets are always fun. You really get to spend a lot of time with the team.
I do want to touch on her teammate, Janie Boyle, hitting the platform and how the team came together, the entire building came together. We all know this is why we do this sport, to support one another. We're one family, swimming and diving. And Janie getting back up there on the 10-meter after hitting the board and nearly getting knocked out of breath, nails her inward 3.5. That is so hard to do, not only physically, but mentally.